A very warm hello to everyone. Hi, I'm Sukanya, and we are meeting in the new year, and new year brings with it a lot of new aspirations, new goals that we are supposed to pursue, and that's exactly why we are here. So today we are going to go over some rudimentary steps as to how you can improve or enhance your reading comprehension skills. I think by now you guys might already be aware that reading comprehension is the backbone of your CLAT examination. The entire paper is reading based, right? So if you are somebody who is like lagging behind when it comes to your comprehension skills, obviously there is a lot of work to be done, right? And for that, we are going to discuss some tips here, which will obviously, if you start incorporating it religiously, you're going to see a massive difference in the way you solve questions, right? So let's get started with the first tip. As you can very well see on the screen, the first is news detective game. And I have also written here how it works. So what you are supposed to do is you're supposed to pick out a news article every single day, not just any random article, but an article which is very, I would say, particularly picked from the newspaper editorial section. Your newspapers could be the Indian Express or the Hindu. Right now, if you're comfortable with Indian Express, go ahead with it. After 2 months, you can switch to the Hindu. Okay, so pick a new newspaper article and then try to answer the five W's and H. What does that mean? You are going to answer who, what, when, where, why, and how, and you are going to note it down in the form of a case study. And basically, you're going to use bullet points. And if you're able to answer the five W's and H, that also means that you have deciphered the passage in an efficient manner, right? So, moving on to the next step, that is reverse storytelling. I know that you already know what is storytelling, right? We start a story from the very beginning, introduction. We introduce the characters, we introduce the plot, and then the story moves in a particular sequence. That is storytelling and how it generally goes. But what is reverse storytelling? So once you have read an article or a passage, now you are supposed to narrate the story, but in a backward fashion. That means an upside down manner. And how is it going to work out for you? So primarily what happens is is one of the core problems that students keep on encountering from time to time. तो क्या होता है कि हम passage तो पढ़ लेते हैं, but in the middle, maybe if you haven't understood a particular line, if you haven't understood a particular word, children kind of lose, I would say, that sense to understand the passage, and they start reading the passage passively, and that should not happen with you, right? And for that, you will be obviously getting accustomed to reverse storytelling. तो एक बार passage पढ़ लिया, अब you need to mention every single detail, every important point that you have come across in the story, but in an upside down fashion. See, that is going to help you think in a creative manner. Also, it will help you to try to remember and memorize as many details as possible, right? And eventually, it's going to help you with your retention. You are going to remember that information for a much longer period of time. And that's obviously something that we want to achieve to answer our questions better, right? So, moving to the next important detail, which is word treasure hunt. This is something which I generally tell students to do when they're coming across a new genre of passage, because you do not have any sort of familiarity with something brand new, right? So, in order to gain that perspective and familiarity, what you can do is you can keep a highlighter, identify all the difficult words and terminology, new concepts that you have found in the passage, highlight it, and look up their meanings from a dictionary or probably Google, whatever is more comfortable to you. So, once you have highlighted those words, two things happen. One, you have simplified the passage for yourself, and secondly, you have also worked your way in expanding your vocabulary. Somebody who has a really good vocabulary bank is also somebody who understands a passage in a much better way, right? So, this is word treasure hunt that you're supposed to do with generally every passage right now, at least in the beginning of the session. Moving to the next one, which is time challenge because generally people are not ready to face the kind of pressure and anxiety that they feel when they're writing a mock. So from time to time, what you can do is you can pick up a passage, a shorter one comparatively, and then you can set a timer and try to solve that passage in a time bound fashion that will also give you like first hand experience to tackle with your anxiety, nervousness, also the undue pressure that you feel, and also it will make you better in time management, right? So next point is audio visual pairing, a very interesting and entertaining take at how to make your comprehension skills, you know, at a like at par हम बोल सकते हैं. So moving forward हम यहाँ पे देखते हैं audio visual pairing का मतलब ये होता है कि you are going to for example pick a particular genre. It could be economics, it could be psychology, it could be geopolitics, and you can read, not read first, but you can actually listen to a podcast on the same topic, or maybe you can listen to an audiobook on the same topic. And once you have listened to it, the second step is you are going to find out an article on the exact same topic and read about it. And that is going to help you revise that topic. So in future, if you come across a similar passage, you will suddenly be already prepared to solve that passage, right? And also audiovisual. Secondly, I would say podcasts. These are great methods to become a good listener, orator, as well as somebody who is really good at critically analyzing a passage, right? So the next one is daily theme passages. Daily theme passages means diversified reading, and this is something that you're going to do till the very end of your preparation. मैं मेरे ख्याल से एंड तक आपको यही बोलूंगी कि डाइवर्सिफाइड रीडिंग करते रहो. डाइवर्सिफाइड रीडिंग का मतलब ये होता है कि यू आर गोइंग टू रीड different categories of passages, different genre of passages. Like I have just mentioned economics, science and tech, maybe legal, literary passages. And the more you read about these subjects, the more familiar you become, actually. Right. So, as you can see, each and every day when you bring forth a new topic and get, you know, an understanding or a familiarity with that topic, you become better at it. ठीक है तो हमारा एम यही होना चाहिए कि by the time we are nearing the exam date, none of the topics are actually new to us. Everything has been read once, everything has been heard of once, so that nothing intimidates you on the day of exam, right? And moving on to the last point for the day, question making challenge. And this is something which I think you should start doing as soon as possible. Whenever you are approaching a passage, first of all, list out all the questions, the general questions that you can answer in a passage. Like, what could be an alternative title to that particular passage? The second could be what is the main idea or theme of the passage. Third one could be what are the inferences that one can draw after reading this passage. Is there a writer's point of view mentioned anywhere? What could be the tone of the passage? Now, after writing down these questions, when you approach the passage, you have clarity in your head that you are bound to answer these questions. So you will be reading with that type of consciousness which is required, right? And these are some steps from me. Please start incorporating it as soon as possible, and you're going to see like a major difference in the way you solve passages. Do let me know in the comment section whether you have already been using some of these tactics. Okay, so that's it from my side. Thank you so much. I'm signing off, and I'll be meeting you more often. So see you. Bye bye.